Sunday morning church Elvis style.
Yeah.
And you said you would be in church if you weren't here. So first of all, thank you for being here and bringing your family.
Thank you for
we do
inviting
appreciate
me.
it.
I do have my family here, by the way.
That's right. Give a wave. Hello.
They're back there somewhere. I have 3 children, 1 of each. Two great boys and a lovely little girl. Well, she's not little. She's 17 now. 17.
Don't look at me.
And and my wife Tina, who has been such a blessing to me. So please say hello to them when we're done today.
Now I met your wife and you. I sat by you guys at the screening last year of The Searcher, the HBO Elvis documentary. I know as an Elvis fan what that documentary means to me and how that it's a wonderful instrument for new Elvis fans to learn about Elvis. But how as it is, I wonder about a person like yourself who knew him as a human, as a person, and was part of that story, what it must be like for you to see really what is in some ways your story as well on screen.
I don't mean this to say that I was really like this with Elvis, but I shared a lot of his personality in that he was publicly on the stage, he was very bold and very outgoing, but backstage, Tom, he was very insecure. Opening night especially, he was back there, he was always doing his fingers like this. I hope they like me. I hope they like me. And he was never sure that they were going to like him until he walked out on the stage. And then it's like a 180-degree turn. He just took on this boldness. It's like 2 different personalities.
Yeah. And 42 years later, after he's gone, he was on this earth 42 years, and this year he's been gone 42 years. The music goes on, and there's 42 years that you continue to sing and meet Elvis fans. And I know over the years, yourself and Joe Mosqueo, I did so many interviews with the 2 of you. And your stories of meeting fans since Elvis has been gone, and it continues on. I mean, we still have this love of the music and of the man. And he was so insecure when he was here, but yet he lives on now.
I think he would be shocked to know that there are so many people around the world who still just love him. People have Elvis rooms. Nothing but Elvis.
These people have Elvis houses.
But a lot of his really ardent fans are in Europe because he never got to go to Europe, and except for the army. But there are people over there who, Elvis God opened the door for us to work with Elvis, but we have so many fans in Europe who come to see us just because we worked with him at one time.
But for you too, as an entertainer and a person who shared the stage with Elvis, I'm always fascinated when I really started thinking about it and talking to you and Joe, and that in a rock and roll concert, Elvis was surrounded by gospel singers on stage with him, sometimes up to 2 or 3 groups on stage with him. And there was a moment in almost every show where he took the spotlight and put it on you, and there was gospel music sung in a rock concert, and in some cases for an audience member it could have been their very first exposure to spiritual gospel music.
Well, you've heard this before, but many times when we go to the Penthouse after the rock and roll shows, we would go to the piano, we would stand around the piano, we would sing How Great Thou Art, Amazing Grace. I remember one time when we were up there with Mama Cass, with the Mamas and the Papas, you remember them? Yeah. She was up there, Mama Cass was there. We were standing around the piano singing Amazing Grace, and I looked over at her and she was crying. And we finished singing, and it was really quiet. It was a very, very solemn moment. And she broke the silence. She said, "That's the first time I've sung that song since I was a little girl." Wow. And it really touched her heart.
Wow.
So gospel has that way about it. It's not only great music, it changes your heart and your life.
Yeah. Now for you, talk about that. You grow up, you're born with the name Blackwood. So a lot of people make a decision to go into music. A lot of people feel a calling to go into gospel music. But you are born into that, no pressure at all. As a Blackwood, did you always know growing up around that was the family business, that was the family calling? Did you know from a young age this is what I'm going to do?
Absolutely not. I started taking piano when I was 7. I studied piano, classical piano, for 12 years, even on up through college. And I didn't even sing a note until my voice changed. I didn't want to sing. I mean, I'm shy. I'm a shy person, and people frightened me. I didn't want to be up in front of people singing. So, but my first overture was when I started singing in Sunday school. I said, well, I can sing to maybe 10 people. So I did that, and then I got bolder and bolder, and finally I wound up singing big church. But I did not want to sing. I ran from it, and it just kind of caught up with me through the years.
Is there a safety? It must be safety in a gospel quartet or a group,
yes,
because you're one of. It's not all on you.
Right, that's what happened, because I started singing with my daddy in a local group called the Memphians out of Memphis. Yeah, and we were on WHBQ TV every Sunday morning, and I was playing the piano, singing baritone, and my daddy was the MC and did all the talking, and I kind of hid back in the back and played behind the piano and sang baritone. So that was my first introduction into singing, and from there I developed a love more for. I got a little bolder and bolder, and then this job with the Imperials came open, and I took it.
And then the stage opens up from there. You went to a little bit bigger than a Sunday school class on stage with Elvis. You know, we talk about, and you mentioned it, that the shows Elvis did at night, those rock and roll shows, those shows were for us. And there was another show that happened at night, and that was for him, when you guys sat around. And this was the music. When he had a choice to sing anything he wanted to sing, this is the music.
Well, it ministered to him, because he used to come to our church, First Assembly in Memphis, and he loved the music, and it brought comfort and peace to his heart. And so when he got away from the stage and he was up there with just us guys and the girls, that's what he gravitated to. He wanted to sing Hound Dog. He hated Hound Dog, probably. No, he probably didn't hate it, but I'm saying he loved the songs that he grew up with. We would listen to groups like the Harmonizing Four. He loved black quartet gospel music, and Dixie Hummingbirds, all those groups, and they meant a lot to him, and of course our music too.
I remember asking Gordon Stoker one time in the Jordanaires, I said, how would Elvis have been as a member of a gospel quartet? And Gordon said, he'd been terrible. He would have sung, he sang the part that interested him, and it was sometimes different on every line. So he would sing baritone, and then he would do this, and Ray Walker said, and then he looked like he looked. Nobody's going to be looking at anybody else in the quartet.
Right. Yeah, he would have been a terrible quartet member, because we other guys would have just faded away.